Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy Mega Meeple.
Greetings and welcome to the Mega Meeple, the show all about gamers and the games that bring them together. This is episode 80. How y'all doing? So yeah, into the second month, which means that all your New Year's resolutions should be promptly just dispelled and do away with. Right? You've given up at this point, you know? Come on. Oh, but if this is your first time smashing that download button, I want to thank you. Welcome to the Mega Meeple gaming table. Everybody is welcome here at the gaming table. Unless you're an a-hole, well then you could go sit in the kiddie table while us adults game. How do you like that, huh? If you haven't already, go to the Mega Meeple website. All the information about the Mega Meeple is right there. It's www.themegameeple.com. Like I said, all of our information is there. All the past podcast episodes are streamed there. Now you go to our social media page. All the links of our Facebooks and Twitters and Tumblrs and Instagrams and blah, 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 blah. You could go and like and follow and interact with me on social media. Also, if you're a gaming designer, if you have a game coming out, you can go ahead and go to a contact us page, fill out the fields, tell me a little bit about yourself and your project, and I will get right back to you about getting you on the calendar. You also go to our YouTube channel and subscribe there. Got some stuff coming out this week I'll talk about in a little bit. And if you're into iTunes, just go over to iTunes and subscribe to the podcast there. And while you're there, put out some of that 5-star loving and leave us a happy review. It really helps out as far as getting the podcast noticed by the Apple overlords. And now I'm primarily an Apple guy, so iTunes is pretty much the thing that I'm most familiar with. But I know that the podcast is also available on a wide variety of other, podcast feed things, servers, whatever the hell you call those things. I don't know. I don't care how it works. I just care about it working. You know, I'm at that point in my life. It's like, don't try to tell me how it works. Just make sure it works. So anyway, yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I'm on Podbeam and Spotify and Google Play. If Google Play has podcasts, yeah. See this is what I'm talking about. I'm a gamer. I'm a game reviewer. I'm a game podcast producer and stuff like that. I know about board games. Don't ask me anything about technology, okay? I am your grumpy gaming grandpa. Which is actually a name I should have taken instead of the Mega Meeple. I don't know. I think I was wanting something on Meeple. Everything was Meeple. But yeah, thinking back on it now that I've been doing this for a year and a half, almost 2 years. Yeah, the grumpy grandpa, grumpy gaming grandpa is the moniker I should have taken. But hey, being grumpy and, can only be entertaining for so long before it gets just really annoying and old. Christ, I'm annoying as I am just normally. It's just the way I am. So I don't need some persona to add to it. But anyway, yeah, that's that. Yeah, so yeah, thank you for listening. actually, I need to go back and listen to the past episodes and stuff. I don't know if I ever put it in the final edit. I may have edited it out, but just I'm going to record it now, just in case I find out that I did mention something about it. But yeah, there's been some crap going on in the board game community as of late. I keep putting off my commentary on it and my 5 cents worth till the next episode, and then the next episode I sit down and record, and it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on that. So I think what I'm gonna do is wait until I have an episode that I don't have any guests, and just do that as maybe because it's gonna be a rant, most definitely. It'll be part of my rant segment for that episode, and it may take up the entire episode. I don't know. Because by that point, I may have a lot of stuff to say about it. But yeah, I since it's most likely going to be something that's going to be unpopular. It's going to trigger some people. So rather than put it as part of an episode that has guests on it, I don't want my guests to, have a reservation of sharing this episode with their followers and fans and have to listen to my get off my lawn segment. So I think I'm just gonna lay back. Again, I'm still waiting for the dust to settle. It's about half of these people are thinking, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I think I'll just wait until I have a week where I have an episode that doesn't have a guest on it, which may be a while. I don't know. I may have to tell one of my guests to wait off another week or so. But and just to note that, dedicate that one episode specifically for that, and that would be the topic for that episode. Because for a while there, in the past few weeks and months, I've really kept my content pretty light, and then the bulk of the episodes have been the interviews with the guest. And I don't know, maybe I'm like I wouldn't dare compare myself with Johnny Carson, but maybe I'm the late night TV show host that just has guests on, and the bulk of the content is just bantering off of them. I don't know. So, but yeah, I got a whole list of things that of topics, things most of which I came up with. Another, I'd say maybe 35% have been submitted to me on social media, and I have some different thoughts on that. So I think that's going to be one of the things I'm going to get back to is having like a specific topic for each episode and comment. But the one that I'm kind of holding off on, that's going to be a topic episode all its own, because there's going to be a lot of things to cover and a lot of things to say, because hey, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to get on it. So yeah, what's happening on this week? Now I do have to issue a slight correction from last week. Last week's episode, we had Jeremy Moshe and Richard McRae with the game Duels of Cardassora. And at that episode, they said that the Kickstarter for the game was going to be going at, I think, like January 30th or something like that. Near the tail end of January. Well, they have pushed that date forward a bit, and it's the Kickstarter is actually going to be going on starting February 5th, I think. But anyway, it's going to be going live on Kickstarter this week. So for those of you who have listened to that podcast and went to the Kickstarter, did a search on the games, hey man, where's the game? I don't see any game around here, you liar. That's the reason. They thought rather than releasing it on a Thursday, it would be best to release it the following week on, I think, a Tuesday or so. Tuesday seems to be Kickstarter release day or something like that. It's like it's the day that all these Kickstarters new campaigns are launched on the platform. So so they figured it would be better to wait till then. So that's what's going to happen. So that's why you haven't, if you looked for the Duels of Cardasaura on Kickstarter this past week, that's why you haven't found it. And speaking of such, I have they asked me to film a Kickstarter preview video. So that will be going up. Actually, it's already on the Mega Meeple YouTube channel. I just set it to private, so only me and Richard and Jeremy can see it, so they could give me feedback of any additions or corrections that need to be done. But once they give me the green light on that, or if I don't hear back from them, then come Tuesday, I will switch that video over to public, and you'll be able to see that, and that will go live to all of you at the same time that the Kickstarter hits. Because that's another thing I've been holding off on, because I don't have the Kickstarter link to put in the description box of the video. So I wanted to wait until the Kickstarter went live, and I could just copy that link over to the description, and you could check that out when you see the Kickstarter preview. Also, I just put out on the YouTube channel my January gaming vlog. This is a monthly thing that I'm trying to do. I've gotten the idea from Tom Grogan, no relation, but he does like a monthly gaming vlog or update type of thing where he talks about what he's been playing and doing this past month. And he also has like a monthly game giveaway. Well, I'm not in a position to do a monthly game giveaway, not yet. That's where the Patreon comes in. Which I don't think I mentioned at the beginning of the show. If you want to support the show and want to be entered in for a chance to win a monthly game giveaway, just go to either the Pod Pledge page or the Patreon page. The links to those things are found on the website. The tiers of support are identical for both. So if you pledge at a level that enters you into the drawing, then I'm basically, going to be taking the supporters from both of those platforms and draw from them. But yeah, there's a variety of different levels, anywhere from $1 a month. But yeah, if you want to be on the podcast, so like a special guest co-host, I think that's the highest level of support there. You have an opportunity to do that. But yeah. But anything you can do, even $1 a month helps out a lot. Got to pay those lip sync fees, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, on the YouTube channel, the January vlog is now up. So you could see what I did this last month as far as gaming, and some things that I also on the vlog talked about a bit more my horror YouTube channel that I'm launching very shortly, within the next week here. And I mentioned it in an earlier podcast episode, and I talked a little bit about it, the vlog, and what my very first video is going to be on the channel. So I can mention that. Well, let's see, this month, as far as Kickstarter things, I'm expecting Simon's Hate to arrive. And I understand U-Boot is supposed to be arriving sometime next month. So those two games can't come quick enough. Really looking forward to those. But there was another. You ever kickstart? Either you kickstart so many stuff, or you've been waiting so freaking long on a thing that you just flat out forgot you even backed it. So imagine my confusion when a little box showed up at my door, and I was like, I vaguely recognize the name on the return address. but I'm racking my brains trying to figure out who they are and what game it could be, and is it even a game? And no, it's not ticking, so it's okay. It's like when you meet someone you haven't seen in a long time, and you don't remember their name, or you don't even remember where you know them from, and they're talking to you like, oh yeah, it's like they know you, right? They know your name, they know what you're doing. And you're kind of looking at them sideways as like, do I know you? And you're racking your brain, trying to figure out where the hell did I know this person? And what's their name? And how do I know them? So, yeah, it's one of those. I was looking at this box in kind of same way, but I cracked it open. And sure enough, it is a game of The Seventh Guest, the board game. Now, if you've seen Tom Vasel's review of this game, I'm gonna have to. I'm one of these people that I will use a review to find out what kind of things are in the box, how the game play. Because and I've talked about this before. A lot of these quote unquote reviewers, they don't so much do a review. 90% of their videos are a rules overview or an unboxing, or they'll show the game set up, and they'll tell you about how the game plays out. Well, that's not a review. That's a rules video or a how to play. So that's really the main reason why I watch reviews. But then when it got to the section at the end where Tom gives his review and his opinion of the game, and he just thought it sucked. It's the best. He just thought it. So it is. It'll be interesting to find out just how badly it sucked, or if it sucked, based on my on my tastes and gaming profile. So I'm intrigued. I'm a little suspicious. Because even when you watch a review like that, your perspective and outlook on the game changes. It's like, oh, okay, is this guy? And you had that mentality and that approach and that mindset going into the game, saying, well, Tom Vasel said it sucks, so it's probably gonna suck. Yeah, so I'm just trying to dispel all of that, unlearn all of that, and just approach the game fresh. No opinion, because, it's one of these things where, I shouldn't have an opinion about it because I haven't played it. Well, so I'm hoping to play it, and I'm hoping that it's at least fun for me, So we'll see how that is. So be looking for that. I'll certainly be giving my initial thoughts before I do a full-fledged review on it in an upcoming episode. So, here's crossing our fingers. All right. Well, my guest this week is Bob and Ryan Craig of One Day West. And we're going to talk about their game. Going to be hitting Kickstarter here in the next few days. Like the next 2 or so days or so. Called Sheep Boom Ba. So we had fun in this interview. I had these guys on sometime early last year talking about Monster Highway, which, by the way, I think it was my number 9 or 10 game of the top 10 games of 2018. It's a really good game. So I'm looking forward to what these guys do with Sheep Boom Ba. So, but we had fun catching up with each other and talking all kinds of stuff. So let's go to that interview right now.
All right, welcome back to the Mega Meeple. And we have a returning guest plural. Yes, we're doing a threesome this time. So
hey now.
Hi-oh. Now if we've had these duo on before, almost to the day. We're what is it? We're recording this January 17th, and the episode these two were on was back in episode 34 on January 14th of last year. We were talking about their Kickstarter at the time, Monster Highway, which I gotta say I did back. I received it and played it. In fact, if you go to the Mega Meeple YouTube channel, I did my obligatory top 10 games of 2018, and I think Monster Highway was on that list. I forget what number it was, but it was on the list. So so it was a neat.
Well,
game.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us on that list. That was cool.
That was one of those, and we'll talk a bit about Monster Highway in a little bit. But we got from One Day West Games, Bob and Ryan Craig. Bob and Ryan, how you doing?
Very good, Thomas. Thank you again for having us on.
Yeah, definitely, Thomas. We're doing really good. Thanks.
Great, thanks for coming back on. Usually I scare people away, and it's I guess I have to be. I guess okay, or at least nicer than most. that people agree to come back. I didn't scare them away too much. I mean,
well, you're a fellow gamer and also a musician too, so we have a good camaraderie. So
yep, a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about.
Yeah, I remember last episode we had. Actually, I think we were doing a video initially that I just took the audio from. And I think we were just comparing guitars and drums. And now, which one of you is the drummer?
That's me, Bob.
Okay.
I'm the drummer. Yeah.
Alrighty.
And Ryan's the guitar and singer.
Okay. Showing off each other's guitars and pedals and stuff like that. I don't have a drum set here. I never did. My drummer is a Roland TR what? I had a 707 back in the day, so it was those little, those little clingy.
Yeah, I have one of those electronic drum sets. It's great for recording too. The Roland, I have the TD9.
Okay,
which is great. Yeah,
the drum machine. You got the vocal harmonizer thing, and the keyboard, and it all.
And so many fun toys. I was saying my drummer when Bob's not around, it's the you ever hear the Beat Buddy, the pedal?
Yes.
That is awesome. I mean, I don't tell Bob that, but Bob's much better. But I don't want to compare him to a pedal. But when Bob's not around, break out the pedals.
Yeah, those are pretty good. I've seen that. So yeah, have you? And we'll get into gaming pretty soon. You know, for those of you listening, it's like, just skip ahead if you don't want to hear this. But have you guys ever been to NAMM? Have you gotten to NAMM yet?
No.
Okay, yeah, me neither. But I've this time of year, I've always kind of like. My diet of I don't watch TV. My diet would be go on YouTube and watch all these videos of these people at NAMM and all the new stuff that they're showcasing there with all the new amps and the new processors and guitars and basses and everything.
Okay.
I haven't checked that out.
Yeah, go. Yeah, just look up NAMM NAMM.
Okay.
I think it's in Las Vegas or. Los Angeles, but it's in California. That they have the winter one, and then they have the summer one in Nashville.
Okay,
so
it's like the Gen Con for new music equipment.
Yeah, pretty much. It's where the vendors and manufacturers announce all their new stuff coming up in the coming year.
Okay,
cool. Okay.
All right. So, you do games too, right?
Oh, that's right. I was grabbing my guitar. I was like, "Can we jam over Skype?"
Yeah, could be like your first podcast jam.
There we go. I'm looking for some new theme music or intro.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll hook you up.
All right. Well, I gotta say, I have Monster Highway, which was your Kickstarter about this time last year, and I think at the time we talked, it was like, it was like Godzilla just stomping around, destroying the roads
Right.
and blocking your road to get to your city or your
Your home base.
your
Yes.
home base. And I guess I first introduced that to my group of gamers here. Each year I have like a Halloween gaming marathon, and we just spend a whole day just playing anything that has to do with horror or monster themed games. So that's where we pull out all the zombicides and the Mansions of Madness and stuff. And we started out with Monster Highway, and I gotta say that was actually the first game in a while that we actually played 3 times.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like
Wow,
we
okay.
played it.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like, okay, well that was fun. It was one of those things. It was like I don't. If we timed it, we don't remember how long it took, but it was one of those things. It was like, okay, well that ended quickly. Well, it seemed that it went fast. Yeah, let's looked at it. Well, okay, let's reset it and play it again. And we just. So yeah, it was one of those games that not too heavy. It was fun, light, and it's fun. enough
Nice
that,
warm up game.
Yeah, everybody wanted to play it again. It's like, hell yeah, they want to. I was like, well, don't you want to play like Fury of Dracula? I was like, oh, hell no, you're just play Monster.
I need to play that Monster Buster this time.
So
Like one of your posts, you referred to it as like Pringles, like the Pringles of games. Like you just can't play just once.
yeah, yes.
Yeah. I got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you could use that as in your byline.
It's a good slogan.
But yeah, so that was your last game. Now your upcoming game is going to be in Kickstarter. Plan is it's going to hit Kickstarter on February 5th, and it's called Sheep Boomba.
Sheep Boomba.
Boomba.
Yep.
Or as I guess in the context of this game, it would probably be pronounced Sheep Boom.
Yeah, cheap. Boom.
And that all makes sense in a few minutes. So just
Yeah.
But I got a finished artwork, or this is like a work, but the artwork, at least that you have on your website, it's like. I want to know what you guys were drinking when you came. Okay.
Something in the water around here. Yeah.
Yep. Well, we did grow up near a power plant, hence Monster Highway. So everything started to make sense.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. But yeah, just tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you got into gaming and.
Sure. So I guess the whole gaming thing kind of started for us probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, pretty heavily. I mean, we had always played games growing up, but as far as actually creating our own games, probably Monster Highway about now is about 4 years old from its infant state when we started like developing it and play testing it. It's kind of like, I guess we followed suit with like our music. We always wrote our own music and being creative in that sense. And we kind of just, playing games one day and had an idea and like, why not just try and create our own game? It was more or less just a hobby thing. And then we were like, well, maybe we have something here and we'll keep developing it. And
Yeah. I mean, even for our full-time job, we're landscapers and we work together and we're, every day designing landscapes. And so more or less we're just, our whole lives work together and
just being creative all the time. So it's kind of just followed suit right into the board game world.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Monster Highway was the first one.
Okay. Well, you did a really good job hitting that one out of the park the first time up at bat. So now,
thank you.
What kind of things did you learn while developing and designing that helped you with the Sheep Boomba?
I would say playtesting and going to conventions or really going to any organized group of gaming, getting feedback. One, shape Monster Highway because that being our first game, like we said, we didn't really know what it was will entail to design a game. So Monster Highway we play tested for in like 2 years.
2 years, yeah. Because it starts out initially with you got our two wives, God bless them for dealing with playing that game countless times over and over again. And then it moves on to like, your family and then your friends. And then they're like, once you see that they're having fun, then you bring it out into the wild and you start introducing it to strangers. And, we had never been to any kind of conventions before, so we didn't know what the whole process was like. So went to a few smaller ones right off the bat. And it was received well. So we like, well, we'll keep, developing this. And then we started getting some feedback and making some minor tweaks along the way. And that was the biggest thing we found was, when people suggest things to you, don't make anything drastic as far as changes go. Like just make small minor changes along the way. Uh-huh. And so you could kind of hone in and really get that game you're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, so that definitely translated right into designing Sheep Boom Ba. Since we had that, 2 years of experience, we're like, we're going to take that same exact platform and just apply it to designing Sheep Boom Ba. Had the general concept mechanics of what we wanted to do, and we themed it, and just followed suit exactly what we did at Monster Highway, and it helped streamline it too a little bit quicker than Monster Highway since we have a little bit more experience now.
Okay, cool. Now which which one of you was the idea that to put a landmine next to a farm?
All right, so Bob and I we like these light themes with how
destructive
sheep.
Yeah, so it's monsters destroying roads, and then it can't just be an innocent sheep. There has to be something destructive.
We're had the idea
intertwined into that. Yeah.
Sheep in a field, trying to get your sheep to the barn. How can we kick this up a notch? Well, let's put some landmines in there.
Let's blow sheep up.
Let's. Yes.
I wish there was a way to people could like visually see the artwork. I was like, all right, this poor sheep is running.
Yeah.
You got these sheep in the back, and you got these two craters there. So right off the bat, at least two sheep have gone, and you got this mushroom cloud in the back with three. It looks like you got three with that blast.
Oh yeah, they took out a couple.
Air.
Yep, for sure.
So we have to give props to our artist Alicia Volkman. She got really good. Well, she was good right off the bat with Monster Highway, but she really can depict our explanations just through email. We never spoke to her. Just everything's just through email, and we just explained to her what we wanted on the box cover, and we're like, there has to be this one sheep who's scared to take his next step. Maybe like one hoof is in the air, and there's a bead of sweat coming down. And kind of explain the artwork we wanted, and the next thing you know, a few days later we get some artwork. We're like, wow, that's
she knows us all too well.
that sense of humor is just right, just as dark,
right.
So, but you got to put like a disclaimer on the back, it's like no sheep were harmed in the design of this game.
Oh yeah,
or something like that.
That's actually coming in our commercial shoot that we're doing. Actually, I just wrapped up. We just got like the first edit of it today, and we were just talking about that. We're gonna put that little disclaimer at the end of it. Yeah, just as a little humor.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about Sheep Boom Ba and how first of all, how did all these well, I guess sheep are kind of dumb, so I guess it's not too surprising that they find themselves in the middle of a landmine. But yeah, how do you get these poor sheep out of the landmine and back into your farm?
So it's kind of like, the idea of the game, it's kind of based around, if you ever played like Minesweeper or anything like that on your computer. So this would be like Sheep Sweeper, essentially. So there's the bombs that are hidden. So when when you start the game out, it's tiles, and you build out your field out in front of you, but all the tiles are flipped over, and then all the sheep start around the outside edge, which we call like the start tile area. And then you're trying to move in and find your farm, but you have no idea what's going on underneath those tiles until you move onto it and flip them over. So it's like a hidden movement, and then until you move onto it, then you flip over and discover either it's going to be a landmine, it's going to be a safe tile and your score point, or it's going to be a barn underneath there.
So the object is you start out, all your sheep are on these field start tiles, which are the perimeter of the board. You one by one place your 6 sheep. So if there's 4 players, you have all your sheep taking up every space on the perimeter, and you're allowed 2 actions on your turn. So taking a sheep and moving it onto a field tile is an action. So you move your sheep on the field tile, you flip it over, and like Bob said, it could be either a safe tile, a landmine, or a barn. But you are basically looking for your barn, which is your portal to go onto your player board, which is in front of you. It's either a barn or a barnyard. So if you find your barn tile, your sheep will go right into your barn, which at the end of the game, that would score you 3 points. So that's the object. Find your barn, move all your sheep back into your barn.
Okay. Now, is each barn like player specific, or can you lay on somebody else's barn?
Right, yeah. So if you're playing a 4-player game, there's actually 4 hidden barns within that whole field area. So if you happen to find that barn, you would score 3 points for finding it, but your sheep would actually go into that other player's barn. So they would have, they'd basically be holding them ransom until, there's cards throughout the game. So you're dealt 4 cards to the beginning of the game, and the cards all have different movements to them, abilities. They allow you to steal sheep from other people's barns. You can move them from the field into your barn. You could take cards from other players. There's a lot. There's 16 different cards that all have different abilities to them. And so that kind of adds into the, it's not just move onto a tile, flip it over, and move your sheep. It's like kind of like once you get going and you find your barn, you're trying to get your sheep there, but then you still have on another player's turn, they're stealing them out from you. So you really don't score. You score points immediately for finding the tiles, but you won't score them for being in your barn, because who knows how long they're going to be there until they get stolen.
Okay.
I say like a tornado card, which player comes through and they play a tornado card on you, and they steal the sheep from your barn and they move it to their barnyard.
Okay.
So yeah.
With the mines, are there like different types of mines, or land mines, or you have some claymores in there? Is there much spillover and damage of the onto the other tiles?
Yeah, that could be an expansion idea.
Yeah.
As of right now, there's just the one landmine tile that's in there. So there's actually, in a 4-player game, there's
7 landmines.
Yeah, 7 landmines in a field of 25 tiles.
Okay.
There'd be 4 barns, 14 safe tiles, and 7 landmines. So it's kind of like, even though like you'd move on to it, you could blow up. There are cards that you can have. You could play like a hero with a herd, which allows you to like defuse that landmine, and allows you to keep your sheep on that tile. And there's other tiles that you replace when the landmines do go off. So there's like safe tiles that you replace down, and then your sheep could stay there. Or you could play like an ambulance. So all the cards are very pun heavy. So
which was that was extremely fun making the game.
I can imagine.
Night after night, just coming up with any kind of sheep pun possible, and how can we make it a card? So cool. Even if your sheep do blow up, there's always a way to you can revive them. Like you said, you can defuse a landmine. We have a card called Back to Life, and the card is the artwork is a zombie sheep. So there's actually on your player board, it's a barn, a barnyard. There's a score tracker around the perimeter of your player card, and there's also a graveyard. So if you land on a landmine and you don't have a way to defuse it, your sheep blows up, but you still always have that chance that you could get a back to life card, and that would revive your sheep, and you can put them back onto the field star tile.
Okay. Are there any like sacrificial lambs where it's like the one sheep will like push another sheep out of the way and jump on top of the landmine and take it for
Exactly. Yes.
So we have a little mechanic we call in there called bumping, So you can actually, like, no two sheep could stay on the same tile at the same time. So you can have an exposed tile and just say another player is directly in front of you. If your sheep is moving in that same path, it pushes the other player's sheep forward one space. So that tile, if it's not discovered yet, they basically flip the tile over, and then they have to suffer the results of whether it's either a landmine. So you could kind of use other people to explore the field too without sacrificing your own sheep.
Okay.
So in turn, you could end up pushing them into a safe tile and they score a point. You could push them into somebody else's barn, or hopefully you just push them into a landmine and they blow up.
Right.
Now, what triggers the end of the game when you start taking points?
It's the first player to clear all of their sheep off of the field would trigger the last round of the game.
All right.
So if my last sheep is off the field, then each player playing would get one more turn.
So the roll's pretty good. I mean, it's probably about, it's kind of like Monster Highway. It's a a warm up game. It's an average game if you're playing 4 people, maybe 20 minutes or so. It's another quick game that you could roll through a couple times if you want to.
We like to go for those games, just like you said. You're playing with your friends. You're able to play 3 games in probably an hour or less. So they're definitely the kind of games that we like to make. Easy to learn. There's strategy. There's some chance.
Yeah. So this one doesn't have any dice in it like Monster Highway did. It's straight actions and play cards, and we want to switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
Monster Highway, you still have options, but with Sheep Boom Ba, you can play as many cards as you want on your turn. So you can actually line yourself up to play, you have your 2 actions, but yet you can still play all 4 cards if you wanted to, which, you can be holding them because you're waiting for like the right move, whether, you move a sheep from a start tile onto the field, and then you can play a card and bring that sheep right into your barnyard. You can bring a sheep back to life, and then maybe use your sheep copter and then copter right to your barn if you found it. So there's a lot of combinations you can do.
Yeah, you could definitely string together a couple moves. Once you play a couple times, you get the hang of it pretty quick.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the Monster Highway is available on your website.
Yeah. Actually, we just launched our new modernized website, onedaywest.com, onedaywestgames.com. And so used to the band here referring to One Day West, but onedaywestgames.com. You could purchase it. It's $35 on the site.
Yeah, and we'll have links to those, link to that in the show notes of this episode. And then now I think this episode is going to go out maybe a few days prior to the Kickstarter hitting. But,
okay.
Once that Kickstarter goes live, we'll put the link to that as well. Now, how long is the Kickstarter going to be going for?
Probably going to be doing 28 days.
You already got a good track record with Monster Highway, so I don't see any reason why this wouldn't fund as well. But yeah, so when's the estimated delivery as far as being available to backers or even retail or even on your website?
Probably about October. I think we had said September before with Monster Highway. It was right towards the end of September, beginning October. So we're probably going to be, say, October if we get it a little earlier, which we most likely will, because we have a lot more of our final artwork in place with this one.
Uh-huh.
We have some stretch goals planned for the Kickstarter campaign, so that could throw things just a little bit. But, we have everything lined up with our manufacturer. We're still using our same manufacturer from last time. So we've been in contact. We have our quotes. We have, a lot of stuff lined up with them already. And it helps too, like, so having that second game and having our same artists, when it comes time to get your game produced by that manufacturer, they have templates over there and they're metric and everything's a little bit different. So she's up to speed now with converting all of our art over to their format.
Okay.
So that kind of streamlines time a little bit more to this go around. So there was a little learning curve last time, which, bumped it a week or two. So we'll probably be able to shave that back off again on this one.
Shear that back off a little bit.
Not trying to pull the wool over on anyone's eyes here.
No,
Just
we would never.
up front.
Yes. Okay.
We're just trying to get in the spirit of Sheep Boomba
Yeah.
with the Kickstarter coming up in a few weeks.
Well, evidently, yeah, definitely there. Alrighty. Well, Bob, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on once again and talking about your second game. And if Monster Highway is any indication, I think you're going to be doing really well with Sheep Boom Ba. Now,
Very good. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
Now, I don't think I had the little game that we played with the guest last time we were on here. So you want to go through that? It's called the Mega Meeple Rapid Fire Round.
Sure.
Sure.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Fire away.
All right. I'm sure you heard this before. I give you a choice. Rattle off two things, and you tell me which one you'd like more. Well, since we started out playing, talking about music and musicianship and stuff, I'll start you off with an easy one. Rock or jazz?
Oh, that's pretty easy. Rock.
Rock.
Alrighty. Pepsi or Coke?
Oh,
I'm gonna defer to Rye on this. I don't do soda.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pepsi.
Alrighty. Sausage or bacon?
Oh, bacon.
Definitely bacon.
Cowboys or aliens?
I would go aliens.
Aliens.
Alrighty. Obi-Wan Kenobi or Yoda?
Ooh. The Force.
If it was me, Yoda I choose.
Yeah, Yoda. We'll go Yoda.
Alrighty.
Good choice you have made.
Alrighty. Well, Bob, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on again. And Sheep Boomba by One Day West Games. And so look for that on Kickstarter coming out February 5th.
Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it. It was always it's always a blast being on with you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having us again.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Alrighty then. Well, thank you so much for hitting that download button. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Now, you want to come back and join me next week, where my guest is the designer of Theosis from Dreamcraft Games and their expansion of that game that's coming out to Kickstarter very soon. I'm not going to try to butcher. It's a gentleman from Greece, and I'm not going to butcher his name here. So you just have to come back next week and listen to how I pronounce his name next week, because little backstage behind the scenes trivia newsflash. Before we even hit record, I asked the person if there's any question. Hey, how do you pronounce your name? And I write out a little phonetic, spelling on my notes, and that way, when I hit record and I introduce him by name, I sound really smart. So that's a trade secret I just gave out there. Woo! I'm like the magician who tells everybody how the trick's done. So anyway, follow me on all the social media stuff. Go to iTunes, subscribe. And if you really like the show and you want to support me putting out more shows and getting more guests on, go to our Pod Pledge or Patreon page and support the show at any level that you feel that you're able to do. But even if you're not able to do that, just spread the word. Word of mouth really helps out a lot, because I am only a one-man operation. I could only do so much. Thank you very much for that. And just your listenership and your support and your interaction through social media really helps out a lot. And I just stuff like that. When I get like an email or a comment on a video or a episode saying that I was entertaining, or I made somebody think about something in a perspective they had not previously considered. Yeah, that speaks volumes to me. So thank you so much for interacting. And as if you've followed me on any of my little segments on the Dice Tower on the Board Game Breakfast, you know that I respond to every comment that people direct at me. So, because I like talking to people. So that's about it for this week. I'm gonna this week is my birthday, so I'm gonna play a crap ton of games, smoke a bunch of cigars, and there's a cat coffee cafe here in Charlotte that I'm gonna go visit. Have some cat time there with all the little fur baby feline animals there. So drink some frappuccino, cappuccino, and all these. Pet some cats. Yeah. Because I'm such a badass. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you guys and gals next week. Until then, this is the Mega Meeple saying we'll see you at the gaming table.